Hello, I am Beth, and I am many things, but what's important here to know is that I am a music nerd. And yes, on the floor, because that is the superior sitting choice. I have way too much time in my hands. So here's a video deconstructing things that I like about the song 17 Reprise from Heathers the Musical. And I have to credit Seth Rudetsky for the word deconstructed. He has many videos on his channel, on the Playbill channel, deconstructing or analyzing songs from many Broadway musicals. So shout out to him for originating the word. A deconstruction is sort of a casual analysis of what makes songs hit listeners the way they do. It's all about highlighting certain aspects of the piece, whether that's a harmony or a motif or a singing choice that an actor made that hits you in a certain way and makes the song sparkle just a little bit more. I'm not really going to get into music theory here, maybe a little bit, but it's mostly going to be in layman's terms because I just want to keep things light and fun. The theme for this video is what makes a song interesting, and hint, that's not necessarily the melody. So let's get into what I think makes the song 17 Reprise a fun, engaging musical finale. Starting off, I'd like to point out a little something that happens while Barrett Wilbert Weed, playing Veronica, is holding out a note.
Martha, are you free tonight? What? My date?
That little da-da-da-da-da-da-da is the exact same melody as Veronica's "But I know, life can be beautiful, I pray, that happens all the way back in the first song. Beautiful. And that little motif pops up everywhere in this musical, and I find it poignant that it shows up when Veronica's talking to Martha and trying to make amends, and it happens again.
For the pep rally kind of blew me off, so I was wondering if
Very nice little motif melody. From here on out, the song layers lots and lots of elements in, and this is where I want you to think back to the theme of today's video, what makes a song engaging. And for that, I would like to use the phrase listening beyond the melody. I took that straight from my sister Donna's YouTube videos. Their link is in the description. She does awesome deconstructions, and she is a choir teacher and a professional performer, so if there's anything in this video that you believe, you can believe that. Listen beyond the melody. Pop songs are fun. They're repetitive and catchy, but they need to be in order to get into your ear and in order for you to keep singing them. And Heathers the Musical is a pop musical. The thing is, what makes a pop song work is actually everything that supports the repetitive melody that you are willing to then sing along to. And that's what we're going to start exploring. So starting from here, we have some whoas coming in, which is really fun compared to the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da melody that keeps happening. So let's listen. And guess what? It's a modulation! It's so easy to fall into just singing the melody, which is what the song wants to do, but let's listen beyond it now. So while they're singing, let's get back tonight, let's go be 17, take our toes and dance, act like we're all still kids, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Underneath, we have not only a modulation, but also the guy singing, yeah, no, we can be beautiful, yeah, no. Huh. Where have I heard that motif before? Oh yeah, like 30 seconds earlier with the little strings and violin, and then also it's Veronica's, but I know. It's the exact same motif. And what's really cool about this is that we're taking a melody and turning it into a harmony by making it a counter melody. So really you have two counter melodies going on right now, which is, let's go be 17, and yeah, no. That's really, really cool. So let's listen to that. We can be beautiful, this could be our final chance. So at Act Like We're All Still Kids, this could be our final chance. We're adding in some more elements. So we have some da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da sort of brass synth going on. And that's really cool because it's a callback to the exact same pattern that happened at the end of the 17 song. So that's cool. And it always makes me think of circles, da 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 da. So that's why I do that motion. And then also, because it's gonna be our final chance, after at chance, there is some brass action that goes on, because we hear ba 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 during the whole always be 17, celebrate you and I. So that's cool. And then we still have the yeah no happening underneath. So let's listen to it. Even more stuff's happening. So at and maybe then we'll never die. Yes, there's the soprano part. We'll make it beautiful. We'll make it beautiful. That's great. It's pretty. But I don't know about you, but I love like making up harmonies or singing the harmony when it comes to songs. I don't know. Harmonies are real fun. So let's also give some love to the altos who are singing, we'll make it beautiful. We'll make it beautiful. I think that's a gorgeous line. Also, during we'll make it beautiful, so the vocal line goes up, we'll make it beautiful, and then beautiful falls down. But while that's happening, the brass has some hits going, dun 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 dun. So while the vocal line is falling, the brass line is rising. So even though there's a falling action, it's being balanced out by the rising action, and so the intensity stays the same, and it's still very interesting. So, timestamps, let's listen to that. We'll make it beautiful. We'll make it beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, so we're final stretch, the finale of the musical, everyone's jamming out, and we're singing the word beautiful 8 times in a row, 9 counting the bump. How do you make that interesting? Because it's beautiful, 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 beautiful. Again, listening beyond the melody, it's everything that supports that makes it so interesting. So the guys are going, they're singing some ahs, and one of them is a ah, which is fascinating because normally you would expect them to go ah. That's a half step instead of a whole step. That's the more traditional or expected harmony, but instead they go a whole step or a lowered seventh, and I love those so much. So that sort of grabs your interest and goes, oh, wait, what was that? That was new. I want to keep listening. So we have a lowered whole step harmony. We have a trumpet that's going on. It's the same note, but it's a bunch of rhythmic hits. So it's dun 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 dun, and that comes in and out a few times. That's cool. And then we have some crashes. So what happens is it's a dialogue between the pit and an individual drummer. And what's fascinating is something very similar happens at the end of Freeze Your Brain. It's crash, 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 individual drums, pull back, huge crash for the bump at the end. And that's really, really smart because it's easier to go from a mezzo forte or a medium loud down to a piano or a quiet in order to burst out into that final crash at the end that's really, really loud, rather than going from a medium forte, medium loud, to a loud, and then trying to go further, but you can't because you're already really, really loud. If you're throwing constant loud sound at your audience, that's going to fatigue their ears and just make them really tired of listening to it. They're more likely to zone out if you're throwing constant energy at them, rather than varying the levels. So we're listening for we'll make it beautiful, dun 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 dun, the brass. We're listening for the brass, dun 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 dun. We're listening for the ah, and we're listening for the smart varying of levels with the crashes and the drums. Let's go back a little bit so we can get all of those things. We'll make it beautiful. We'll make it beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. beautiful, beautiful. Go back. Hi, baby. Hi. Say hi.